Hello everyone and welcome back to one of my watch reviews. So in today's review, I'll be reviewing the new Ultra Thin Mechanical from local watch brand Coup De Coeur. So the Ultra Thin Mechanical that we have here, is the brand's dress watch offering, and as its name suggests, Ultra Thin Mechanical is supposed to be one of the thinnest mechanical watches out there in the market. So let's see if it's any good. Alright, let's start with the build quality of the watch. So I'm pleased to report that even though this watch is pretty cheap, so it's about 200 plus Singapore dollars, it actually punch above its price point in terms of its specs. So first and foremost, the Ultra Thin Mechanical uses a flat sapphire crystal. So as aforementioned, numerous times in my previous reviews, I'm a huge advocate of sapphire crystal due to the scratch resisting property. So it's almost next to impossible to scratch sapphire crystal. So personally for me, I always look for sapphire crystal when I'm shopping for my modern watches because it just adds greatly to the durability of the watch. It's also coated with an anti-reflective coating, because I don't think I can get any reflections. You don't really see much reflections here, as you guys can see. So yeah, it's pretty decent to have a sapphire crystal at like this about 200 Singapore dollars price point. Yeah. Now, as the name suggests, the mechanical part. So the watch actually is powered by the Seagull ST1700 movement. So it's a manual winding caliber. You can't see it, because it's hidden Caseback, but it's a manual winding caliber, and it beats at 3 Hz or 21,600 beats per hour. Has about 36 hours of power reserve, but does not hack. So personally, I've had a watch for about a month now. I've not encountered, any accuracy issues with the movement. Seagull movements have come a long way in the past few years. I also think it's an astute choice, At this price point, the only other hand winding movement would be from a Miyota, something like a Miyota N33. Those are substantially thicker, right? So yeah, I think it's smart of them to go with the Seagull movement here. But however, the slim nature of the movement and the case rather actually means that this watch doesn't really have any significant water resistance. So the brand says that this is only splash resistant, not even 3 ATM, so it's just splash resistant. So I mean, okay it is a dress watch, so I'm not expecting to bring it underwater or anything, but it's just something to be a bit more careful about, not to letting it get caught in the rain or under the tap or whatever. Now it comes with the Ultra Thin Mechanical here comes default on this black leather strap. So it's pretty decent. Let me hold out one end to the camera. So I would say at least black embossed leather strap is pretty decent, given that Coup De Coeur actually it's actually more of a strap seller rather than a watch brand actually. So the Coup De Coeur sells a variety of straps on their website. It's no surprise that the quality of the leather strap here is pretty decent. It's not outstanding, but it's definitely much better than the cardboard like straps often found watches at this price point on like say Daniel Wellington or whatever. And it also has quick release buckles for easy interchangeability. If you want to switch it up to like a brown strap, for example, that'll be very convenient of you to do so. I would say that all in all, it's great specs for the price. Despite costing less than some fashion watches, the watch has sapphire crystal, a mechanical movement, and even a decent strap. It's honestly it ticks every box I'm looking for at this $200 price point. Now moving on to the design, while the Ultra Thin Mechanical perhaps doesn't reinvent the wheel aesthetically, it does offer like a versatile, clean design. So the dial of the Ultra Thin Mechanical is very quintessentially dress watch, right? With elements such as the Roman. Let me bring this closer to the camera. With elements such as the Roman numerals, a sub-second dial, giving it like sort of like an old school charm. We see the railway minute pad as well. I also like the slender, the slender leaf hands that we have here, which adds like a dose of sophistication to the dial. It's not exactly like a Patek Philippe Calatrava, but it's far from a Daniel Wellington when it comes to the simplicity and elegance of the design. Still, I think there's some aspect, just being honest, this is a review of the all. I think there's some aspects of the watch that sort of betray the low price point. For one, the dial lacks any texture. It's just a plain matte dial. While I understand, like the matte surface for like the main part of the dial, I will have like the sub dial to feature, some sort of texture. So you can see the sub dial is sort of like this matte finish as well. Perhaps Azuraj or Guilloche or something like that. I would like the sub dial to have a sort of texture for some contrast. The dial also look rather flat, because of like the indices are printed, the railway track is printed, the logo is printed. It just looks like a very flat dial. I think that if they had gone with like applied indices like we see on, let's say, the Baltic MR01, that would have gone a long way here, making this a more attractive watch. Similarly, let me turn this around, or rather to the case side. The case is very simply finished, so it's just, you can see here on the side is finished with a simple mirror polish. There's nothing wrong with that, but you can see it lacks some of the chamfered edges or like the contrasting case finishing, like the beveled edges or whatever of more expensive watches. I should also mention that there's a good rose gold, variant available, but between the two, I definitely will go with the steel variant because the rose gold plating may scratch off or tarnish over time. Onto the Caseback. The Caseback is pretty simple. Again, it's solid one, so you can't really see the movement. It's simply that the brand's logo prominently displayed. However, I'm not a fan of like them putting the website URL on the Caseback. I feel it cheapens the watch a little. In fact, I can't really think of another brand that puts like their full web store URL on the Caseback, and I think that's for good reason. So if I were them, I'd definitely omit this URL here. Moving on to more of the positive though, there is like a sign crown on the case side, which is again not always a given at this price point. The crown is of a nice size as well, which is great, and this is a hand winding watch. The side profile, let me show you guys, look at that. The side profile also highlights how insanely thin the ultra thin mechanical is at just 6.8mm, especially for an affordable watch. So for context, Seagull themselves also offer the same movement in one of their watches, and has a thickness over 8mm, just over 1mm more than what Coup De Coeur has done here. So impressive, I would say, at how thin they managed to get this watch. Now let me put this on the wrist and show you guys how it wears. Alright, so on the wrist, it actually wears pretty well. Its thinness, I would say, is balanced by a restrained case dimension of just 38mm, the perfect size in my opinion for a modern day dress watch. Due to the smaller size and the ultra thin nature, this watch slides under a shirt cuff with ease, and looks right at home and paired with some of the more formal outfits. So yeah, I think overall, the ultra thin mechanical is a simple, slick timepiece that's a bit of your vintage dress watch charm. It's not the most refined or sophisticated dress watch out there. Like I said, that would probably be something like the Baltic MR01. But at this price point, at just about 200 SGD, I don't expect it to be. Like the previous, Coup De Coeur watches I've reviewed, I think, the ultra thin mechanical is best suited for those who are just starting out on their horological journey, perhaps switching over from wearing a fashion watch like Daniel Wellington or Forcer, or someone that just wants something that's affordable, well built, simple looking, meant for buck. It's not the most refined of microbrand dress watches again, but at this price point again doesn't have to be. So the fact that it's so razor thin really separates it from its competition, which is a noteworthy achievement for a watch that costs less than Daniel Wellington. Alright, for those who are interested in purchasing the ultra thin mechanical, you can use the promo code WHASOSHIOK to get 10% off the watch and all Coup De Coeur products on its web store. After the discount, this watch ultra thin mechanical came ahead for just 224 Singapore dollars, which makes it probably the most affordable ultra slim. So when I say ultra slim, I define it as below 7mm in thickness. It's perhaps the most affordable ultra slim watch out there on the market, which I think makes it a very good value proposition. And that rounds up this review of the Coup De Coeur Ultra Thin Mechanical. If you like the review, do give it a thumbs up, do subscribe, and of course do share the video around. As always, I'll see you guys in my next video. Ciao!